Welcome to the Conscious Rebel. I'm your host, Kathy Lee Taylor. I hope you're having a fabulous morning. Before we begin, I would like to just take a moment to settle into this conversation. Not to be focusing or getting ready for something. I just want us to soften. So, taking a breath. Let your shoulders drop. Slow down. Don't worry about extracting information or learning stuff. Just be here and be open to remembering. This is going to be fun. This podcast is for the woman who is quietly and without apology leaving the old era behind, and we're going to talk about what that means. There's no drama, no announcement going on here. We just have a knowing that something in us has completed and something new is asking to begin. I know that's how I feel, and I hope if that's you, you're going to feel like you're in exactly the right place. As far as I can tell, women everywhere are in transition. And they don't really have the language for it, So I started thinking about how we could have this conversation and make what's going on, these changes, these transformations that we're all feeling more visible, more understandable, so we can be more connected. There was the old era that we're leaving behind. Let's be clear about that. That era of external authority is dissolving. We can feel it. We can see it. And that world of hustle and hierarchy and productivity, it's losing its grip on us. And that's probably been happening for years. I know for me it has. Because we realize, right, that these characteristics has nothing to do with our self-worth. And frankly, we've outgrown it. We have no innate feminine need, does not drop into hustle and hierarchy and productivity naturally. So we're leaving it behind. And we're all getting to a place where we really feel like that is possible and that we can understand how to get this done. So if you're listening to this, you're probably not confused at all. You're just simply complete, and you've done the work, and you've held the responsibility, and you've lived through the learning, right? And now something in your nervous system is saying, I'm done living like this old era. Not necessarily because it's wrong. It works for some people, works for guys, but because something is finally, beautifully ready to end, and something new is ready to begin. A lot of women that I work with in my coaching practice arrive believing that their problem is that they have become disconnected from their hearts. At least that's what they say, right? But oftentimes I find that is not true, because your heart isn't necessarily closed. It may just be waiting for safety. And when safety arrives, and it always does, women don't suddenly become someone new, right? They return to who they always were, beneath all the adapting and all the accommodating and all the performing. And they learn to lead with their inner authority. This is the important part of this conversation, to carry the weight of our lives without bracing against it all of the time, without all the resistance. The Dalai Lama once said that the Western woman will save the world. I like to think about that as all women on a global level. And I sat with those words for years and wondered, what was he talking about? What did he really, really mean? And what I believe he was pointing to now is women who have been through the fire, who have learned to lead from the inside out, who are carrying both a softness and a strength, or spine, right? A strength. Those women are exactly what this new era is asking for. Not because we need to rescue anything or anybody, be really clear about that, but because the frequency of an embodied woman changes a room, changes a family, changes a lineage. And eventually, together, we change the world. So the old era taught us things like solving problems with our logic. It was okay. Most of us spent decades inside systems designed for a different kind of leadership that doesn't necessarily come naturally to us. But we became skilled at it. We did it anyway, right? But the new era is asking for something different. And this is the really fun part. It's not harder, it's just different. It's actually easier because it's who we naturally are. It's asking us to stabilize from the inside, to lead from coherence rather than from strategy. So a balance, a harmony of body, mind, and spirit. To trust the intelligence of the body. Those are big words, but it takes a lot of action to make that happen. To trust the intelligence of the body, not as a metaphor, but as a literal operating system. I actually call it my somatic, the spiritual operating system. I like to think of it that way. So I want to be clear about something, though. I'm not here in this podcast now or in the future trying to fix you. And I'm not trying to activate you into some kind of breakthrough. What I'm here for is something kind of quieter than that. Like in my experience, though, it's going to be far more lasting. And I think it's a much more important way to focus our attention. My role, just so you know personally, if you know anything about human design, I am a 5-1. And my role is to be a steady bridge. And between who you were conditioned to be, right, in the past, and who you actually are. And this is one I've lived personally. So I know what this journey looks like. And I'm really excited about joining with other women that have been on it so we can talk about it. So that conditioning where, you know, what it left us with somatically was the mind was restless. And whenever you're in the process of analysis or using your logic, you're going to have monkey mind. One thought, you know, think about monkeys jumping from one tree to the next, thoughts going all over the place. And that can bring a lot of stress. So between that logic that we used to do, and now what we're going to do is focus on the body's quiet knowing. That's the new era. That's the feminine era. That's the space that we want to grow into, where the heart is your leader. Just on a personal note, I want to mention here why I feel this is a subject that I can really take on is because when I was 35, I had a near-death experience from having heart failure. And that heart failure came a lot from being in that patriarchal, logical, analytical systems that I could do and I pushed myself to do because I had a very competitive nature. But it cost me a lot. It cost my body a lot. It was not the natural way to be. And so after that near-death experience, I have spent the last 35 years really trying to understand and trying to master what it means to live from the heart on a coherent level. So it's a conversation that I'm comfortable having and very excited to explore with other people. So here's something that I found to be true. You hear people talking about getting clarity all the time, right? But clarity doesn't come from thinking harder. A lot of us make that mistake, right? Clarity does not come from thinking harder. My thoughts, think about this in your own life. My thoughts never took me where I really wanted to go. No matter how much I followed them, no matter how much I chased them. So what I know to be true is that clarity comes when your nervous system finally feels safe enough to stop bracing, to stop resisting, right? Your heart can't operate if your soma is tight and anxious all the time. So it's that innate natural being. When you're available to listen to it, it will lead you. That is what I call your inner authority. You're going to hear a lot of terms that people use in spiritual conversations and teachings. And I hope that I'm saying them in ways that you can really relate to on a daily basis. And you can ground your learning into getting what you want from life, you know, fulfilling your desires, being productive, being fulfilled, all of those things. So one of the main things that you have to do is stop overriding the body. The body will tell you exactly what it needs, exactly what it knows, and exactly who you are. You have to trust that process. And we'll talk about this more. If you don't feel like you're there yet, don't worry about it. A lot of us aren't. Keep coming back to the podcast. We're going to be talking about this a lot, and how you can get aligned and how you can begin to trust your body in many, many ways and have it connect you to your inner source. So I'm really talking about connecting somatically every day becomes a tactical procedure in your life. You're going to ask questions based on how it feels, how your body feels. You're going to listen deeply for the messages, for your inner guides. And that will fulfill, honestly, I promise you, your deepest desires. That's how you get there. That's the new era. That's the feminine way. You don't have to try harder. You don't have to compete. You don't have to look at your neighbor and wonder if you're going into the posture far enough. We can let all that go. Take a deep breath and let it all go, because it was never yours to carry in the first place. And all you have to do to leave it behind is to know how to live from your heart space, how to express your soul from your heart space connection. So I want to just address women who are in their 50s, 60s, and beyond. And I'm often talking to the Line 6 woman. That is part of my journey as a 5-1 human design. I'm a manifester. I wanted to say that these women typically carry a quiet ache that sounds something like, I should be further along. So if that dings in your head, like, that's how I feel, I just got to tell you, you are not too late. You are not behind. You are not starting over. Think of it this way. I am 69 and I feel like I am just finally getting to what it is that I was brought here to earth to do. So you are just arriving also. Think about everything that you've lived through, the trying and the failing and the years spent, all of that stuff in between. It was all just composting into something really good, something really beautiful, I promise. And all of that something now is available to you in a way that it simply wasn't before. So there's nothing to feel bad about here. You are not falling behind. You didn't miss anything. You didn't miss getting anything back because you weren't doing it then. It's all been a process of getting to where you are now. Give yourself that breath. You really have. I want you to feel this. You have really arrived at the most precious and important time of your life. And that's right now. And that's the time that you're going to fulfill and master what you really love to do and what you have to offer as a service to the world. The first half of your life just teaches you what doesn't work. I know that's annoying to look back and think, whoa, what a waste. It's not a waste. It's preparation. It's composting. So the second half is going to be where you stop outsourcing your truth. This is the critical part. You don't want to walk away from this. You don't want to look away. You don't want to be complacent. This is where you want to learn how to connect with your inner authority and stop, again, outsourcing your truth. Do not compare yourself. Just let yourself be fully present in the blessing that is you now in your life. That is the presence. That is that presence that I'm talking about, you being right now here in your life. That presence is what we're here to begin to explore together. So in closing, I want to say, if something in you kind of settled while you were listening, like, oh, this makes sense to me, I want to know, more about what she's saying, just take that as a signal and please come back. You don't need to do anything with it today. You don't need to rush. That's one thing we're not going to do here in this podcast. We are not going to rush. We are going to slow down and take our time, our juicy time, and enjoy this. So don't worry about next steps. Don't worry about having to take action. Just come back next week. just also, while you're at it, after listening to, if you reach the end of this, thank you, but just take a notice of what feels complete inside of you right now. That tells you something about who you are. Notice what feels complete inside of you right now. And notice, and this might be even more quiet, notice what feels alive. See if you can get in touch with that. What feels alive in you after listening to these thoughts and messages? Because here's what I can promise you for sure. Your heart already knows the way. Your heart already knows the way. I invite you into that journey with me. My work is really simply to create a space where it's safe for you to be here and it's still enough for you to be here so you can have your knowing be heard, right? For you and by you and for others as well. So having said that, from my heart to yours, I am so glad you're here and I hope to see you next week. Bye for now.